Gotta hate being sick. All right. There's YouTube. Sorry for the wait. Let me see what all we can find together here. Get my chat down there. And there we go. Much better. Cool. What do we got going on this morning or last night? Trump holding meetings. Insanity in New York and Belfast, I saw. Actually, let me jump to that. This is outside the Knicks. Mass arrests. People chucking fireworks. This looks fun. It's like my idea of a good time. Jumping out.
He got it. She got it. Walk the fuck out.
Is that all they know? Is that like the only phrase that they've got? Bouncing around up there? My dick! My dick! Oh! Jeez. Okay. Looks fun. Here we go, Belfast. Ooh. Yikes. Uh-huh.
Get out of here, Nazi!
Pedophile worshiper! Pedophile worshiper! Pedophile worshiper! Get the fuck out of here! The audacity of you to come here 1 year after 30,000 fucking people have been taken!
Was that gasoline? And a taser?
Get him! You Nazi piece of shit!
Guys, we're being chased right now. I got a taser. These guys are just swarming.
Nobody attacked you! You're detained!
Jeez. Okay. That all I got? Yeah. Okay, back to where to go. There it is. What do we got here? Wow. Okay. Who's the guy with a beard? Okay. Leonor, Depre la Technica.
D'abord l'amour, après la technique, hein, disait Antoni Gaudi.
Something about love coming first. I don't know. This is in Spain, huh? I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. It's an odd structure. Very weird. Yeah, I don't know, man.
Life on the farm is kinda laid back, ain't much. Well, life on the farm is kinda laid back, ain't much what an old country boy like me can't hack. It's early to rise, early in the sack. Thank God I'm a country boy.
This is the Vance family, I guess. Yep. Okay. Oh, here's a look at the UFC facility on the White House grounds. What a crazy phrase that is. Interesting. Okay.
That it's some
Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei talks to ABC News about the company's latest warnings on the danger of AI as graduating students voice doubts about the technology. That's such a weirdo.
You may be aware that at some commencement speeches in recent weeks, whenever the speaker mentioned AI, students booed pretty
Boo! Boo! Yeah, it's getting crazy.
loudly.
The question is whether you will help shape artificial intelligence.
Google's Eric Schmidt getting booed out of the facility practically.
We do not know the precise contours of what this transformation will look like.
What might you say to those students, to Americans in general, that they might have a more optimistic outlook about artificial intelligence?
I think the justified anger comes from the fact that there are real risks to this technology. Now we're proposing stronger regulation of the technology. We're proposing giving the government the ability to, again, in a narrow way, block deployment of unsafe technology. So what I would say to them is AI isn't bad. It isn't inherently bad. It just needs to be developed with the right guardrails.
And Amodei believes that
Guardrails, huh? Yeah, those guardrails. Don't do the greatest job of guarding or railing anything, really.
that this tech is more good than bad, but he says that he's still concerned about the risks, like misuse of cyber attacks, misuse of biology, and the potential for the models to run out of control.
And he's really sincere about these warnings.
He really does seem to be, and at the same time taking responsibility that since he is creating this technology, there is an onus on him, but he's also saying, hey, but government, red flags here, put some guardrails in.
Okay.
No. Nope. He's trying to scare people. And he's trying to cement regulation that will, cement him and Anthropic as the status quo forever. That's what he wants. Because he knows that that's how it goes. He's no fool. Very smart guy.
I think the pool is looking amazing. I think in
Reflecting pool, nice.
DC as a whole down here in the mall's been cleaned up and secure.
Yeah, it is fantastic. It is more beautiful than any time I can remember in my lifetime.
And what an awesome place to visit and what an awesome place to be.
I think everything looks beautiful. The water looks clear. There's lots of wildlife in there, and it seems to be healthy and
The grounds are clean.
happy. The grounds look great, so I think everything looks awesome.
First time I've been down here since they've done it. I thought it would be a lot.
There are no poop smearing homeless people just walking around on the corner trying to hit you up for a nickel or these days, a quarter or $1.
Brighter blue based on what I've seen on the news, but no, I think it's gorgeous. It's cleaned up. It looks fantastic.
I like the blue color of it. It's not too Mar-a-Lago blue, which is what I read on the internet, but it looks nice or dark. He really loves this country, and he gets...
You mean to tell me that you don't like algae green?
Derided a lot for his opinions on things and how outspoken he is, but he's done a great job.
Looks fantastic. I live in Arlington, but I have been coming to DC. I lived in the Maryland area in the 70s, and so it was like this in the 70s. This is the first time since the 70s they've actually done renovations and cleaned up most of the monuments.
How do you think all of these renovations fits into the celebration for our country this year?
Well, it's
Oh boy, is my bot like beeping in the background like that? I'm sorry. Listen to him cheeping. He's thinking. It's his thinking sound. Let's pipe him down here. Okay. I'll poo on you. There we go. After he stops thinking, he should stop making noise. Should go into effect. All right.
Perfect timing. You know, when the tourists are coming and they see it and they feel comfortable being here and they just see the gorgeous, you know, how the grandeur of everything that is the mall.
I'm glad he's in office. I'm glad he's doing this work to clean things up, and with this big party that we're going to be having here soon, couldn't do better.
It's been awesome to see the blend of the different people, different nationalities. Everyone is enjoying the atmosphere, and I think it's definitely sets a good look for our nation.
When he said he's going to drain the swamp, he means it. He's draining the swamp, figuratively and symbolically. And if you saw what the city looked like under previous administrations, he's turned it around, and hopefully that will trickle down to other cities.
Well, it just doesn't stop with the July 4th event. I mean, it goes for 8 years, really, from the beginning of the American Revolution. So I think it plays into the history and the celebrations of the freedoms that we have.
250 years of living in a free country. What a great celebration. So why not clean it up for the people, keep it safe for the people so they can celebrate the 250. Lincoln looking over that pond right now, and I'm sure he's smiling up in heaven above saying, job well done.
Okay. A sneak peek of what McDonald's restaurants will look like in the future. Oh, God.
I'm getting a sneak peek about what McDonald's stores will look like in the future.
How bad is this going to be?
It's sick.
Sick like, ooh, damn, that's sick, yo. Or like, sick like, ew, that's sick.
Do you want your McDonald's to look like this?
McDonald's has already unveiled one of these stores in Hong Kong, their new restaurants, and it looks like this. Here are some photos.
It looks like a generic cafeteria.
Dystopian here. This is basic. Here's some of those bright colors like in the concept. It looks very lonely in there. So if we go and we look at what they're trying to do here, it looks like they're trying to bring back a bright, modern layout with bold colors.
They even acknowledge that some call it dystopian.
Teams, curved seating, enhanced beverage areas, new restaurant design, focus on technology.
My God. Oh, Trump on the phone.
It could be the greatest deal in history. They they could wave the white flag of surrender. They could say, we surrender, we're finished, we've had it, the United States is the greatest power, praise be to Allah. And they could do all of this, they could say it loud and clear, and the fake news would say it was a great victory for Iran. I mean, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. We're killing them. Just killing them. They have no Navy, they have no Air Force, they have no anti-aircraft. You know, we're flying planes over the middle of Tehran, and they have no idea what we're there. We've knocked out all of their radar, all of their anti-aircraft. Much of their missiles, they have probably less than 20%. We think about 20%. Most of their launchers have the missile launchers, which are quite important. Their drone capacity is way down. You see it. I mean.
Thank you, Jeff Owitt in Rumble Chat, dropping a DOJ press conference currently live right now. Let's jump to that. Let's have a look.
And this department and this administration has zero tolerance for unlawful activity and is committed to protecting children who suffered the consequences of open borders. Today we are announcing the indictments of 3 individuals. Maritza Kawik-Koch, her brother, Carlos Agustin Kawik-Koch, and Gladys Marina Call-Chen. This was out of the Northern District of Ohio. All 3 are illegal aliens from Guatemala who allegedly took part in a wide-ranging conspiracy to smuggle more than a dozen children into the United States by scamming the system and exploiting the loopholes created by the last administration. This is one example, one indictment, but it is not unique. There are over 15,500 super sponsor cases that we have identified along with DHS. And again, these super sponsor cases are when somebody sponsors more than 3 children, unrelated, and they're unaccompanied minors that come in the United States. I also want to announce today from the same district in Ohio, the Northern District, the sentencing of another criminal illegal alien who was convicted, also from Guatemala. He was a 27-year-old man who came to the United States, smuggled in a 14-year-old child by submitting false paperwork and lying on the forms, claiming to be her brother, proceeded to sexually assault this young woman. And these 2 cases, while only 2, help explain how what was going on is really the stuff of nightmares. Now, these charges show the important partnership between HHS and DHS and with the Department of Justice. All of us are going after those who illegally brought children to this country. And again, these are dangerous and lonely paths from wherever they're coming into the United States, and many of them have had heinous crimes committed against them. So leading and supporting the Department of Justice's nationwide effort against UAC-related crimes is Joint Task Force Alpha. The task force is a highly successful partnership between the Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security, and obviously we use investigative support from the FBI and other agencies, including HHS and their Office of Inspector General. Their Joint Task Force Alpha's mission is to dismantle human smuggling and human trafficking rings throughout the Americas. So this is as is obvious from the numbers, this is a vast problem, but it's something we're extraordinarily focused on, we remain focused on until it's completely fixed, addressed, and remedied. Some other things that the Department of Justice is doing to combat human trafficking. We have directed every U.S. Attorney's Office that they must pursue all viable charges related to UAC sponsor fraud, all available in violations of any other crimes involving unaccompanied minors, such as labor, sex trafficking, aggravated identity theft, or alien smuggling. Every U.S. Attorney's Office in this country has a designated UAC coordinator, which helps streamline communication with law enforcement agencies and facilitate prosecution of defendants involved in trafficking UACs. The criminal division is led by Tyson Dua, who's with me on stage. The criminal division works closely with U.S. Attorney's Office and Joint Task Force Alpha to make sure that all resources are brought here on the most egregious and important cases in this space. We will not accept half measures when it comes to securing the border, protecting American lives, and saving children from exploitation. In this administration, as President Trump says almost every day, because it's true, the border will be secure, innocent children will be protected, and sponsors should be properly vetted, and those who seek to commit crimes by way of our borders will face justice. So I thank everybody for being here this morning. I would like to ask Secretary Mullen to come and say a few words now. Thank you.
And first of all, I want to thank the Trump administration for the Trump leadership and going after the worst of the worst. You know, I tell people that I haven't quit smiling since I've been Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, but I take that back because when we start digging into these cases and you start hearing the absolute horrific things that took place under the Biden administration, and true neglect at best and criminal at worst. About 450,000 kids go missing throughout this country. President Trump has made it a point to go find these kids because of our partnership with HHS and DOJ, Department of Homeland Security, truly using the best of the best, to which the Democrats sometimes want to demonize, because a lot of times this is ICE, this is HSI, this is CBP. These individuals that 146,000 kids so far. 146,000 kids.
Damn.
We still have nearly 300,000 missing. We're investigating reports to where some of these kids claim that they were raped 600 to 700 times.
Oh my gosh.
I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have kids, if you don't have kids. I don't care if you're a liberal, you're independent, you're a Democrat, you're a Republican. If you can't stand for law enforcement to go find these kids, who are you? Who are you? Every leader should understand what's going on. And do you know where we're finding the most of them? Sanctuary cities.
Of course. Where they like to go hide.
Because they know they're safe. That's why they're called sanctuary cities. Because of President Trump's leadership, we're going into those sanctuary cities. We have mayors like Mondami in New York who want to say you're not welcome. As a mayor, he knows what's happening on the streets. He knows who he's harboring, and at this point in abating. By saying that we can't go operate, we're going to. We're going to go find the worst of the worst. We're going to rescue as many kids as we possibly can. We're going to enforce our nation's laws, and we're going to right the wrongs that the Biden administration turned a blind eye to. It's because of President Trump's leadership. It's horrific to what's happening right in our own country because of 4 years of a blind eye that allowed unvetted sponsors to come pick up 450,000 kids on our borders, knowing their reports, while the Biden administration was in office, their own reports was reporting that over a third of the females, regardless of age, was sexually assaulted before they made it to their border. They knew it was human traffickers that were trafficking these young kids to the border, and then they were unvetting or refusing to vet the so-called sponsors, and there was 0 wellness checks. And they want to claim that Republicans, because we're enforcing the laws, is inhumane somehow? What's inhumane about taking care of our kids? As a father of 6 with 3 young girls, I will do whatever I have to do. I will move heaven and hell to go find these kids. And guess what? The same individuals that the Democrats want to demonize every single day, which is our law enforcement, is out there doing that job. And I am proud as I can possibly be to sit here as secretary.
Oh, is it really choppy for you guys? Oh, no. See Sharon King saying it's really choppy. Oh, poopy. Yeah, my computer's working really hard right now.
To say because of our relationship with DOJ, with HHS, and this administration, we're going to find you. And those that preyed on these young kids, we're going to bring you to justice. We're going to charge you. And we're going to work side by side with Todd Blanche and DOJ to make sure you pay for your crimes. So I want to thank President Trump. I want to thank Secretary Kennedy. I want to thank Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche for helping us fight against the worst of the worst and bringing them to justice.
Sounds like it's good for Rumble, at least. That's cool.
Thank you very much, Secretary Mullen. If Angie, you want to come and say words?
Good morning. Thank you. I'm Angie Salazar. I'm the Acting Director of Office of Refugee Resettlement. Today's announcement confirms what we already knew, that during the Biden era, human smuggling networks exploited the immigration system and open border policies to profit and further their criminal enterprise at the expense of vulnerable children. You've heard the scale of the problem, over 450,000. I just want to emphasize, those children were all referred to ORR. That is an average of more than 300 children per day for 4 years. By law, ORR is responsible for the care and placement of unaccompanied children. In principle, that responsibility should mirror the standards of the American foster care system, which demands rigorous background checks, vetting of caregivers, financial stability verification, and home visits before a child is turned over. Instead, these children were released to adults who were rarely seen in person. They were sent to addresses that were not visited or verified. The children were shuffled by contractors through airports and delivered to unvetted sponsors. In 2024, the DHS Office of Inspector General reported that nearly 300,000 of those children could not be accounted for. We continue to hear claims that this was merely a paperwork issue. It was not. When the government lacks reliable contact information or an effective means of tracking children, that is a child welfare failure. ORR suspects that over 40 unaccompanied children are linked to this organization via aliases, documents, or addresses. And this is exactly why ORR reforms are necessary. Under the strong leadership of Secretary Kennedy and President Trump, ORR has reviewed our data and identified over 81,000 addresses that were used repeatedly to take children. Over 76,000 instances where mandatory safety checks were missing. Over 97,000 cases that lacked background checks. And instances where fingerprint and DNA and human trafficking risks were either not required, ineffective, or applied in an inconsistent manner. The Trump administration has taken immediate action to find these children and close the loopholes. You've heard to date, we've located with Department of Justice and DHS approximately 146,000. Some have been located that were sexually assaulted, others deceased, and some committing heinous crimes. So what has changed? Today, ORR requires valid identity documents, fingerprint background checks. We identify repeat sponsors. We require DNA testing when family relationship is claimed. We also verify income, and we physically, most importantly, we physically verify the homes, the addresses, and we meet with sponsors in person. And for the first time, ORR is in lockstep with our law enforcement partners to identify bad actors and protect children. We are prioritizing child safety over placement speed and modernizing our systems to strengthen oversight and accountability. Every child referred to ORR's custody deserves protection. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Attorney General Blanche and Secretary Mullen.
and Acting Director Salazar. I'm Tyson Duva, Assistant Attorney General, and I run the Criminal Division. The Criminal Division is at the forefront of some of the department's most important initiatives, including going after people who abuse and exploit our most vulnerable, our children who arrive at our borders alone. In the Northern District of Ohio, which is under the leadership of United States Attorney David Tepfer, our offices are partnering together to announce the charges that Acting Attorney General Blanche described against 3 Guatemala nationals and the sentencing of the 4th, all living in this country illegally and all tied to smuggling of unaccompanied alien children into the United States. And I'm going to talk about those cases a little more specifically. Maritza Coek Koch was arrested in Ohio for leading an alien smuggling network and submitting multiple fraudulent sponsorship applications for unaccompanied alien children. Maritza's brother, Carlos Coek Koch, was also indicted for his role in that conspiracy for smuggling, including for one of the children that Maritza helped smuggle into the United States. Another, Gladys Marina Colchen, who was herself fraudulently sponsored and smuggled into the country as an unaccompanied child, now as an adult is charged with doing the same thing. We also secured a prison sentence yesterday for Juan TLG, who lied to obtain custody of a 14-year-old girl and then sexually assaulted her.
Wow.
He will serve a total of 10 years in prison based on his state and federal convictions. These cases tell a story. First, about the crimes that people commit to come to the United States illegally, the dangers and risks associated with that often long journey, including tragic consequences of vulnerable children being subjected to smugglers who exploit them, often sexually and physically. And second, how criminals use a child protection program to commit fraud. In the Maritza Coek Koch case, between December 2020 and October 2023, Maritza submitted sponsorship applications using others' identities, falsely claiming them to be children of close relatives to obtain custody of them. She used other people's birth certificates, Guatemalan consular ID cards to deceive ORR, even submitting photographs of herself holding someone else's ID. Several of those applications were successful, causing the ORR to release children to her care. This was a business. Payments were deposited into her and her co-conspirators' bank accounts. 2 weeks ago, agents searched Maritza's residence in Cleveland, Ohio, and found Maritza and 8 other adults and 4 minor children living there. Nearly all the adults were illegal aliens. 4 had themselves been unaccompanied children. This case highlights the fraud and abuse perpetrated by illegal aliens and exposes how this government program was manipulated to bring children to the United States and deliver them to unvetted people. Juan TLG is a separate case. He was sentenced yesterday, and those convictions stem from alien smuggling, making false statements, and aggravated identity theft. In September 2023, Xi arranged for a coyote to have a Guatemalan family's 14-year-old girl illegally enter the United States. He submitted a sponsorship application and lied that the girl was his sister. He was entrusted with her care and sexually assaulted her multiple times. Xi told her the sex was repayment for bringing her to the United States, 14 years old. For Xi's state and federal convictions, he will spend the next 10 years in prison. Since day one of this administration, Joint Task Force Alpha, led by the Criminal Division's Human Rights and Special Prosecutions section, has stepped up to the challenge and quickly assembled a team of prosecutors to work with ORR and HSI and other investigative partners in this area. The cases announced today are just a snapshot of the important work, and there are others. In Louisiana, we convicted an illegal alien from Guatemala who submitted a fraudulent sponsorship application, falsely claiming the child was his brother. In Georgia, we indicted 2 illegal aliens from Honduras who targeted a child online, lured her to the United States, and filed a fraudulent sponsorship application to gain custody of her. In Kansas, we indicted another illegal alien from Honduras and a Kansas woman for fraudulently seeking to obtain custody of a UAC. The charges and sentence announced today are the work of law enforcement cooperation, HHS, OIG, HSI, FBI, and our partners at HHS ORR. I would like to again recognize U.S. Attorney David Tepfer for his leadership and excellent partnership on these cases charged in this district, and the prosecutors and agents on the line who handled the cases, did the complaints, brought them to grand jury, and handled the sentencings. There is much to be done, and under the leadership of Acting Attorney General Blanche and Secretary Mullen, we will do the work. Thank you.
Thanks, Tyson. Okay, so we'll take a couple questions on what we're here for today. Go ahead.
So I have an on-topic and an off-topic. The on-topic is, first of all, is this problem still widespread, or has it been completely stopped? Secondly, you said you located 146,000 of them, and 300,000 are still out there. What's their fate? Are they being deported, or are they being allowed to stay in the country?
So let me, Secretary, you want to address the first question, and then I can handle from this one.
So on the 146,000 we found with their sponsors, though some of them were just wellness checks that we went through that were maybe not vetted correctly, but the child was okay, the person was in the country legally, we were able to check that off. Other ones were criminal, so those that were exporting the children were charging. DOJ is helping with that. Some were in labor trafficking rings, some were in sex trafficking rings, some we couldn't maybe prove that either the child was being utilized in that way because the child was refusing to speak. We have either found legal sponsors for the child and then have gone through the process of deporting the individuals. The vast majority of the 146 though were obtained illegally, the vast majority, and so charges are still moving forward with those. We can't. I'm not able to release the exact number of the individuals that were the children that were being exported and trafficked. As the gentleman spoke right before me, some of the individuals now that were brought over children are now adults. The ones that are here are adults. We're working on the process of sending them back.
And so is this widespread? And then I have a second question. Still widespread.
Go ahead.
Is this still a widespread problem at the border? And then I have a second off topic.
Whether it's, well, it's not widespread. I mean, I think it's pretty. I don't think there's any dispute. The borders have been closed to folks that are not allowed in, and it's been that way for over a year. But yes, we are still dealing with a crisis in this country from what happened for 4 years. And one of the reasons why we wanted to have you all here today is to remind folks of the crisis that was created that we are still dealing with. When you talk about numbers and you say 450,000, right, and then you say 300,000 are still unaccompanied, are still unaccounted for, at least partially. And then when you look at the great work we've done in a year, 100,000+, that's all great, but there's still a tremendous amount of work left to do. I mean, that's, and will we be finished in a year? No. I mean, this is a problem that was created for a long time. It's hard to find. I mean, what Acting Director Salazar talked about is true. Like you have over 81,000 addresses in this country had multiple unaccompanied minors associated with those addresses. And that's the crisis we're dealing with.
On the UFC fight.
I'm not going to talk about the UFC fight. We're just here to talk about this.
Judge's order if he does order that it be blocked?
I'm not going to talk about the UFC fight. We're here just to talk about why we're here today. Go ahead.
Thank you. Just a clarifying question on that. Why would children not be eligible for U or T visas even if they've aged out? And second, if I can, are there still efforts to expand child and family detention for the processing these people or these migrant children?
Who wants to answer the first question? You answer the first question? Go ahead.
Yes, if we identify that they're victims of crime, which is what the 26 crimes under the U visa, or human trafficking, right, held against their will for commercial sex or forced labor, they will still be eligible, of course.
So those people aren't being, or those children, or if they've aged out, they're not being deported?
Even if they've aged out, if you're, like the laws here, if you are a victim of those crimes and law enforcement certifies them as such, then they're entitled to those.
Other questions?
Oh, sorry, and the second on detention.
Yeah, what's the second question?
Are there still efforts to expand child and family detention?
to expand child and family detention. I don't know if that's Mark.
So we only have one family detention center right now, and it's in Texas because of President Trump's secure border, and we have 0 coming into the country illegally at this point. The detention center is not even close to being at capacity, so we're those that are being held there, we're looking for placements and trying to get them back to the country where they came from and entered the country illegally from.
Just on 0 people crossing the border, the SABRE program run by counties in Arizona through California, they are saying that they're still seeing unapprehended crossers. The apprehension rate is 33% there, so people are still crossing the border.
So when we start talking about the 0 entries, there's no one that we are apprehending that we're allowing into the country. I'm sure there are some gotaways because we're still building the wall to secure the border, but that number is extremely small. We went from having tens of thousands a week, sometimes in a day, to single-digit numbers, but we aren't able to see that. That's why we're building the wall. That's why President Trump has made it a priority to get the wall built from the Pacific to the Gulf of America. We will have the primary wall completed probably this time next year, and we'll just have very small corridors for individuals that's going to be trying to enter the country legally, where we can allow them to enter if they truly have a claim or have the right paperwork in place. But we are allowing no individuals to claim asylum to come into this country unless they can truly prove by legal statute what they have to require, not because they say the correct things on a handwritten card, but prove that they have an asylum need.
Thank you. Secretary Mullen.
Thank you very much. Question for the Attorney General and question for Secretary Mullen. Attorney General, I heard Secretary Mullen call this true neglect at best. I'm wondering, what is the evidence that government officials knowingly participated? In other words, are you alleging that the previous administration knowingly approved sponsor placements despite knowing there was evidence of fraud? Or are you alleging failures in screening and oversight? And can you just talk about the evidence that might support that distinction and be specific about how it applies to a certain number of cases?
So I don't think it can be disputed that the last administration knew this was happening. I mean, putting aside the public reporting about it at the time for many years during the Biden administration, we didn't go and hire forensic accountants or rock star federal agents to find out the data we're showing you. It's data that the government had and that government possessed. And so there were individuals occupying positions of leadership in this country that knew this was happening and and this is what Secretary Mullen was talking about, either didn't care, encouraged it, or a little bit of both. I don't think that can be disputed. I don't think you're going to get DHS officials from the last administration telling you, oh my gosh, we're shocked. Wait, you're telling me there were hundreds of thousands of unaccompanied minors? Oh my God, I had no idea. That's not true. Of course I knew. And so I don't. And when you talk about the outrage that is hopefully coming through from what Secretary Mullen said and what I'm saying now, it should be outrage amongst everybody that this happened. And it did happen. And so whether somebody closed their eyes to it and whether somebody just was negligent or whether it was something much more intentional and part of a policy that was in place to literally just have open borders, including unaccompanied children who were being abused and trafficked, that's not for me to answer. But I will tell you that this is not something that we had to dig far and deep to uncover. I mean, we've been talking about it since January 20th, and we'll continue talking about it. But yeah, so I don't look. I'm not indicting the past leadership right here on this podium. But you also cannot ignore what was an incredible dereliction of duty at best.
To say that it was encouraged, though, is quite a charge. I mean, what evidence do you have of that?
What evidence of what?
To say that it was encouraged, this behavior, is quite a charge.
Well, you can insert whatever word you want. I said encourage. If you know there's a problem and you're in a position of leadership to stop it and you don't stop it, what word should I use? I mean, I use the word encouraged. If it isn't as if this was a single-day problem. You have a situation that happened over a number of years. They knew it was happening. It was brought to their attention it was happening, and they didn't do anything to stop it. As a matter of fact, when you look at the end of 2024, 2024, and there were 300,000. Like, you just think in your mind that number and that number of young children, and then we had no idea where they were in this country. I mean, I continue to use the words encouraged. So,
and I want to give you an opportunity to respond to that and answer that. I also want to ask you specifically about some of the sanctuary cities as well as where these kids are coming from, if you can be more specific about some of the problem cases. I also do have an off-topic question, but go ahead.
So I don't think I need to explain what I said any more than what I said. It's negligent at best and criminal at worst. When you're not taking care of the kids that you're entrusted to take care of, negligence can turn into criminal. Now, that doesn't mean we're going to go after the individuals, but you can't, as Acting Attorney General said, you can't just simply turn a blind eye to it and say it wasn't happening. You can't even deny that. Everybody in this room knows it was happening. It was being reported at the time it was happening. And there was no outrage, and no one tried to hold these people accountable. And kids now have been paying for it. They've been getting raped over and over and over again because this previous administration chose not to enforce our nation's laws and protect the most vulnerable. That is shameful.
Lastly, I want to ask about immigration policies that are already shaping the World Cup. At least one referee from Somalia and one Iraqi team staff member were denied entry at U.S. airports in recent days, and dozens of fans have been denied.
Did you call it politics?
No.
What'd you say? I forget how you started that question.
Policies.
Yeah, policies are, we're not going to allow people that have criminal or maybe perceived to have criminal ties to come into this country. I don't care what your situation is. I'm not going to get into why we denied this individual, but there's a reason why this person was denied. Now, the left media wants to go out there and report and say this guy's a victim of because we're, anti-Somalia. No, we're not. We work closely with FIFA and the administration on a regular basis. We talk to FIFA and their directors constantly. Anybody that was denied, we made the case for and showed them why they were denied. Now, to get into specifics of it, I'm not getting into specifics of it, but Iran chose that was a difficult path. If there was any country we wasn't going to allow in here, Iran would probably be the reason why we wouldn't allow them in here, but we did, and we worked closely with the individuals with restrictions. And so there was more than just these two, there was multiple individuals throughout. We have a World Cup here. We got a lot of countries that doesn't exactly have access to the United States, and we did a phenomenal job on getting as many people cleared as we could, but some people just can't clear. And that's just the way it works with getting a visa to come to this great country. Yes.
Thank you. How does the partnership with law enforcement that you've described change your ability to find and protect these children? And then secondly, how many of these children have you been able to reunite with their families in foreign countries?
Well, first of all, let's talk about the 287G program, which is the greatest partnership we can have. It's shameful that we have governors like in Virginia and governors in New York and governors in California and other sanctuary states that are refusing to allow their law enforcement to join in the 287G program, where we simply go after the worst of the worst. And we say to local law enforcement and to state enforcement that if you will help us, you don't have to enforce, just if you run across these individuals, keep them. We'll pay you for your time. We'll even give you some of the equipment, and we'll pay for some of the equipment. Just hold them, and we'll come pick them up. And we have sanctuary states now that are popping up, and like New Jersey, that are saying, no, it's against the law for any state agency or any local agency to join in the 287G program to enforce our nation's laws. I don't even know how that's possible, to be honest with you. Why wouldn't you want to take the worst of the worst off your streets? Why would we allow it? Let me just give you one statistic. 50% of all the murders that's happened in Fairfax County are by illegals. 41 individuals in Tennessee have been killed this year by illegals, well, in the last 12 months. Why? Why would any politician say that we wouldn't want to get those individuals off our streets? Why wouldn't they want to partner with DHS and the 287G program to help rid this type of activity out of our country and out of your communities? And I can't make sense of stupidity sometimes. We allow political theater to get in the way of actual law enforcement. And all we're saying is let's protect our streets. And let's make sure that our kids can go play in our yards, that you guys can go on a run in the mornings. You that live in Washington, D.C., you know what it was like 2 years ago? What's it like today? Can you go run the streets? Can you go run the Capitol and feel safe? Could you have done that 18 months ago? No. And you know that. But because of President Trump's strong push for law enforcement, our communities and our cities are becoming safe again. Why wouldn't any elected official want the same in their backyard?
Secretary Mullin? You spoke about Mayor Mondami and sanctuary cities. How do you envision the operations from your department in New York or other sanctuary cities as compared to what happened in Minnesota or California prior to you being secretary?
When you take somebody like Mondami, who is just this radical socialist, that's anti-law enforcement, anti-police, it's shameful because NYPD is awesome. They're phenomenal to work with. They have the best crowd procedures. They have the best law enforcement agency. I'd put them up against just about any city around the country. And they have a pride about them of doing so. But you got a mayor that's not allowing them to do their job. And it's shameful. All these guys in the NYPD, they just want to go to work. They want to do something that they feel like they were called to do. And they're great at it. But they got a leader that's handcuffing them. And hopefully the people of New York will wise up and get a true leader in there in a few years.
How would your operations look different than Minnesota or California?
Well, if we had partnership with NYPD, we could clean that city up in 30 days. I mean that sincerely. We could clean that up with President Trump's leadership and us flexing with the ability we have. We've seen it happen in Memphis. We've seen it happen in New Orleans. We've seen it happen right here in Washington, D.C. We know how to do it. We just got to have, politics set aside and let law and order be the mainstream of why we decide we're going to do what we're going to do.
Secretary, I have one on topic and then one off topic. You said you and the mayor don't get along, and you're expressing concern about some of the governors in sanctuary states, as you call them. What are you willing to do to bridge that gap?
I'll work with anybody that's wanting to work with us. When I got sworn into office, I said, I don't care if you got a blue state, blue city, red city. I don't care what it is. I'll work as hard to protect my backyard as I will to protect yours. I don't see color when we start talking about law enforcement. What I see is criminals, and we're going after them.
Reach out to the man and sit down.
We've reached out multiple times through this whole FIFA, and we can't even get past the first person at the desk. So I'd sit down and talk to him anytime. I don't really think we're going to get anywhere. I think President Trump tried that, and you see the way he treated President Trump. I mean, President Trump literally brought him into the Oval Office, let him stand beside him, tried to actually give the olive branch and say, listen, we can set our political difference together, but President Trump loves New York City. He loves the Knicks too, obviously. And the fact that the way the mayor treated him once he left the Oval Office will tell you what type of man he is.
How many of these 81,000 that you've got identified there, how many of those have criminal cases that you're trying to pursue?
I'll let our Attorney General answer that.
What was the question about how many are?
81,000 addresses. How many do you know have committed crimes? People there have committed crimes?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but just it's not as the point of that number isn't that there are 81,000 criminals. It's just a sheer number. So some of them, it might make sense why there's 3 unaccompanied minors that are not related in one house. Maybe depending on the circumstance. So it's not that every single one is a crime. But when you heard what the work that is being done, it's as simple as a site visit or as simple as a forms check to make sure that everything's in order. So for some of those 81,000, yes, I'm sure it's fine. For some of them, there are horrible crimes being committed. And so we announced a couple charges today. Tyson talked about ongoing cases that I think joint that we're working on. It is a big priority in every U.S. Attorney's office, and so I think that I expect you'll continue to see the results of that. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Sir, are you seeing any evidence of election fraud in California?
Okay, well, that's the end. Oops, knocking shit off my desk. My goodness. Let me see. How the build on the Mac's going here. Oh, it's moving. I don't know what that is. And it's already started building a dashboard, pulls stuff from chat. I already tested that. It works quite well. It pulls relevant, like anytime one of you drops a link into chat, it pulls it and sticks it up on the dashboard. It's really neat. Relevant links, mind you, not it filters out the bullshit. Seems to do pretty dang good. And not just links either. If someone mentions a headline, it'll stick that up there too. One sec. All right. Let me see if we can find something else we could check out here.
Pick to be the acting.
Oh, Pulte.
Good morning, Georgia. And the president's controversial pick to be the acting director of national intelligence is now complicating efforts to renew this key surveillance law, which could now lapse right in the middle of this war. The president has tapped Bill Pulte to be a Trump loyalist with no experience in intelligence or national security to be the interim head of the intelligence agencies. The choice has sparked real backlash from lawmakers of both parties on Capitol Hill, and now they're threatening to not renew this law that allows the U.S. to gather intelligence abroad until Trump makes another permanent pick for the role. Trump has said he has 5 other people in mind, though he hasn't said who. And we've learned the president has had multiple meetings with the speaker and top administration officials about the path forward. In the meantime, Trump says he wants Pulte to slash staff at the intelligence agencies. He says Pulte is, quote, less shackled and has more power because he is only in the role temporarily. But the president is now in a real jam. This law is set to expire on Friday. Trump is now asking Congress for a temporary extension. Speaker Johnson plans to bring that to the floor later this morning, but Democrats have made clear, Rebecca, they are not on board, and they won't be until Trump pulls Pulte.
All right, Mary, thanks very much.
Okay. I forgot the login password already. Oh, dang it. Oh, wow, it's built quite a bit. Interesting. Maybe it'll be deployed here by the end of the show. We can pull it up and show you where it's at so far.
Violent protests in Belfast.
Talking about Belfast.
There's been a second night of violent protests in Belfast in Northern Ireland. Crowds of young men clashed with police, throwing rocks and bottles. This is after an immigrant from Sudan was charged with a brutal knife attack on a man in the city. Police say protesters have been trying to reach a hotel they believe was housing immigrants, and disturbingly earlier this week, some went door to door in a local street looking for foreigners and torching homes. Police responded last night with water cannon, although thankfully things were not as violent as the night before.
Water
and
cannons.
Elon Musk has been accused of trying to whip up violence by sharing lists on X of locations where protests could take place and retweeting a message from a far-right politician with the message, "Millions must go." The family of the man who lost his left eye in the attack have appealed for calm, and they say that while they were completely devastated by what happened to him, they reject violence as a response. There's been a second night of violent protests in Belfast in Northern Ireland. Crowds of young men clash with police, throwing rocks and bottles. This is after an immigrant from Sudan was charged with a brutal knife attack on a man in the city. Police say protesters have been trying to reach a hotel they believe was housing immigrants, and disturbingly earlier this week, some went door to door in a local street looking for foreigners and torching homes. Police responded last night with water cannon, although thankfully things were not as violent as the night before. And Elon Musk has been accused of trying to whip up violence by sharing lists on X of locations where protests could take place and retweeting a message from a far-right politician with the message, "Millions must go." The family of the man who lost his left eye in the attack have appealed for calm, and they say that while they were completely devastated by what happened to him, they reject violence as a response. There's been a second night of violent protests in Belfast in Northern Ireland.
Hey, there it is. One second. Popping my Mac in here. There you go. Look at that. Sort by all, chat, just regular chat, links. Interesting. Pretty cool. It's got a lot more than is built, I think, but it's just not showing on here yet. Hasn't deployed. Okay. Oops. Alrighty, let's keep going here. Oh. FBI raids Democrat-controlled California assessor's office and assessor's home, hit with 3 federal search warrants amid corruption, favoritism, and sexual harassment scandals. Wow.
Brothers and sisters, with grateful hearts, let us praise the Lord as we inaugurate the new tower of this basilica on the centenary of the death of the Venerable Anthony Gaudi.
Ah, that's who that was.
The architect of God. It is dedicated to our Lord Jesus Christ.
I mean, it kind of looked like it was dedicated to Anthony Gaudi, but whatever.
Children, look at the tower of Christ, the Redeemer, that crowns the Sacred Family.
What the? That's an odd one. It's a strange cross.
Sacred Family Basilica. Allow them to reach the fruit of salvation and share their testimony of happiness.
Okay. And get some fresh stuff here. Father of Austin Metcalf.
In Austin, I had a dream last night. And Austin came to me and said, "I'm okay." It gives me peace. Doesn't mean I don't hurt, but it gives me great peace. So, one of the things, my son, Hunter, his ability to stay strong is a character to his brother. His brother, they had each other's back. They were tight. I've never seen a bond like that. Being identical twins, technically Austin was his big brother. Those boys were my everything. I had cancer almost 10 years ago. I wasn't supposed to live, but that was my why, to fight. And without those boys, I probably would have succumbed and gave in. But they were in my heart, and I fought hard because I wanted to be their father. I wanted to be there for them throughout the years they grow up, and so I can share my wisdom and share my mistakes so they won't do the same. Austin was an outstanding athlete, person, friend, loyal, loving. He would light up the room. He was such a leader naturally. On that, I had a dream last night.
Well, you want to see something cool? Here we go. Look at this. Look at this. Look it. Look it. It's a little baby. 10 weeks. It's actually 10 weeks. A little further along than we thought. And no, we do not know yet. It's like right on the edge of like where you can tell. So we don't know. We don't know yet. But we'll know, I think, on the next one, which is soon. But so far, so good. Okay. What else we got? Let's scroll down the homepage here. Something. Wait, what was that? More Claude shit? What are they launching now? It's freaking non-stop with these people. Oh no, must have been something else. Interesting.
Vowing to tell the truth. Witnesses who took an oath.
Oh, Carmelo Anthony's parents are out on a media tour.
Vowing to tell the truth.
Everyone actually lied on the stand.
Everyone.
All of the witnesses' statements were inconsistent. All of them.
His father says the court of public opinion had made up their mind about his son long before the trial began.
He was
witnesses who took an oath vowing to tell the truth.
When he walked out of the jail, if you looked at the news all last year, he was already convicted. If you look at it, it was already done.
Opinion had made up their mind about his son long before the trial began.
He was convicted.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was a cold-blooded killer, and it was obvious what happened here, so...
When he walked out of the jail, if you looked at the news all last year, he was already convicted. If you look at it, it was already done. It was no innocent until proven guilty. He was already guilty.
Witnesses.
Let me guess, it's because he was black.
Mother recounts the moment she addressed the jury and made her plea to them during the sentencing phase.
To have mercy on my son. That's what I told the jury.
Have mercy on my cash cow. I need to keep taking in that GoFundMe, girl.
I know they had their minds made up already. So, I mean, really wasn't much I could say to change their minds.
Both parents fighting back emotions and tears as they described what they believe was a flawed trial.
How I'm going to afford my mortgage and get my hair did.
We were delusional. We thought we was going to get a fair shake.
She don't know. Not gonna get your hair did no more, girl. Oh my gosh. Insane. Yeah. Sports fans, man. Belfast, let's see. Chucking something at him. I don't know what. Rocks? Bottles? Dang. Got something burning? Yikes. Oh boy. Well, if the government won't do their damn jobs and get them out, it seems like these people are going to make the migrants' stays so unpleasant that they just self-deport. By setting their shit on fire.
We address you tonight, citizens of Ireland. We address you tonight with a heavy heart, but with a firm resolve. We are the Irish Citizen Army, also known as the ICA. We created the rebirth of the ICA of 1913. We are all citizens, fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters, driven to finally take action on the intolerable corruption which is forced on us by the Irish and British governments. We also believe that the British government has no right in Ireland, has never had any right in Ireland, and never can have any right in Ireland. We represent all of Ireland's 32 counties. We refuse to witness the suffering of our citizens. Our Irish citizens refuse to be treated as second-class citizens on their own island. We, the ICA, refuse to witness our heritage and culture being erased. We refuse to witness the suffering and killing of innocent Irish citizens. We, the ICA, will fight for Ireland. We, the ICA, will take the necessary steps to achieve our goals.
By the way, they announced this year the color of Ireland is no longer green. They say it's black.
Our plan is to take action on the injustice of Irish citizens and to fight for a fair, free, and independent Ireland. We are fighting for our future, the future of our children, the future of Ireland. We are fighting for our identity, our heritage, and our culture. Our system is corroded from within, of the institutions of state hollowed out by greed and self-interest. We have borne witness to a creeping paralysis within the very heart of our government. Laws crafted to serve the people have been twisted to serve private pockets. Public funds, intended for healthcare, education, the protection of our communities, for our own homeless and our children, have been siphoned off, diverted, or simply vanished into the ether of unaccountability.
It's the same NGO plan. They farm the homeless, they farm the illegals. The NGOs bring them in, they control them, they steal the money, and they use them as a political bloc.
Our communities, once bastions of neighborly support, are fracturing under the weight of fear. We hear your pleas, we see your worry, and the grim reality is that our country is no longer safe to walk the streets. Between the sheer number of illegal, undocumented military-age male migrants that flood our once beautiful streets, causing fear, terror, and threat of violence upon Irish communities, our own government threatening to remove our beautiful and sacred tricolour, the flag that so many brave men and women fought for, the very notion of peace and order, hard won over generations, is being systematically dismantled. We cannot allow the dream of a truly independent Ireland, won through such hardship, to be corrupted into a hollow shell serving only a select few. For a truly legal and a truly independent Ireland, for a nation where justice is paramount and its citizens can walk their streets in safety, action will be required. Not merely words, but decisive, principled action. We call upon all citizens, all institutions, all those who believe in the promise of this nation to stand with us. The path ahead will be challenging, but it is a path we must together embark upon to save our country and our citizens. Thank you for listening.
Interesting. PSYOP or not PSYOP? What's going on with this? I don't know.
Not to my knowledge. I haven't had a chance to speak to the PSNI this morning.
Minister of Northern Ireland blames Tommy Robinson and Elon Musk for what happened in Belfast. You gotta be shitting me.
About the influence that he wields.
Not to my knowledge. I haven't had a chance to speak to the PSNI this morning. Last night it was very fresh, it was very new, but they did advise me that CID would be looking into these threats and taking them very seriously, which has been a comfort, I have to say, but at the minute we don't know where they've originated from now.
And, you know, Monday night was horrific, and so many people saw that image. I wish people didn't see that image, but unfortunately many people did. But it was absolutely horrific. But there are bad actors that are jumping on this and actually using it to stir up hate and tension. And people who don't even know who we are. We're not a racist people here. People who don't even know where we are on a map. But yet now we see the likes of the Elon Musks of this world, where we see the Tommy Robinsons of this world, the keyboard.
What about the migrant stabby demons of this world?
Warriors who are sitting very comfy in their homes, orchestrating hate and tension.
Nothing about the migrant stabby demons?
And bringing this onto our streets and
Just
encouraging
Elon Musk and Tommy Robinson?
this onto our streets. So I think people need to be alert to that. Who's behind this? Like these protests that have been organised. If they're that smart about their protests, why can they not put their face to it? Because they can't. Because these protests have been organised by faceless thugs, in my opinion.
Oh man. Y'all got a problem on your hands. Yes, you do. And there it is. Austin Metcalf's father again. Let's see it.
Poetic age. How poetic justice is served. You just do a big softball and knock it out of the park. Thank you for making it so easy for me. So you can live with your lie if you want to, but my truth is forever. Just like the fact your son is a convict and a killer. Forever. Forever is a long time. What's your master plan, Mr. Anthony? To use your son as income and soak up as much money playing victim to line your pockets?
Yep.
And then abandon him when he's at sentencing? Or victim impact? You just left him up there by himself? Amazing. Amazing. What about you, Drew? What kind of father are you? You want to talk about what kind of father? All right, let's talk about what kind of father you are. Let's talk about your arrest. Let's talk about your warrants.
Oh,
was it drugs? Coke? You did? Tell me some other shit. Let's pull it up. Because I'm welcome every one of you to pull up my criminal history. Someone who tried to make up some bullshit saying I'm a sexual assault person, guess what? If you're
a sexual assault person?
Convicted of sexual assault in Texas, you have to register. Please check the registry. Please check my background in criminal history. It's not there.
Crazy. An employee leaving ICE's Newark facility just pepper sprayed a rioter.
Piece of shit! Motherfucker.
Owned. Did he seriously? Zoran Mamdani basically told New Yorkers that they just don't need permission for watch parties and should basically effectively just show up anyways, even though other officials in the city said don't do that.
We got Jeremy Lin! We got Jeremy Lin!
Wow, he did. He did do exactly that.
Man, nigga, front page paper. My brother killed the nigga. My homeboy killed the nigga. I'm the only black man I know that ever served time for killing a white man, nigga. Stood over and watched him die. That's a badge of honor to me. And white people can't take that from me. So during
My God.
each time when I close my eyes, my heart smile. Cause I done something I know they wish I was dead for, nigga.
Yeah. This looks fun.
Stop! What is wrong with her? You fucking bitch! I don't care why I'm walking away. I'm not walking away. I'm not walking away.
Yo, alright, yo.
A road rage incident between two average inner city residents.
Your car wasting stuff on people. You started this whole shit. I saw the whole thing. There's no fucking racist shit.
Wait, race? But she's black. Are you saying that she's... Huh?
Like American. I'm African. I don't do shit like that. I'm African. Go fucking get her. You see that? Oh, look at her. That's why she got her ass whipped. That's why she got her ass whipped. That's why you got your ass whipped. Give my ass whipped. Give my ass whipped. Thank you. You didn't. Thank you. You're a crackhead, bitch. You're a fucking crackhead. I don't care. You're a crackhead. You're a crackhead.
You a crackhead!
I don't care.
That's coming from a crackhead saying that.
Stop.
I mean, look at her.
Come here. Came out swinging on us. Wasting her freaking coffee on people. She come out wasting her coffee.
Oh, no, she didn't. My God. What is even happening anymore? Dang, man. That thing is wild.
Ha sido un sueño del presidente durante muchísimo tiempo ver construir
It can be quite an event.
Justin Gaethje en la noche del 14 de junio.
Pretty excited for this. Jump on the phone.
There's 2, 3, 4 people laying down alongside of you with a bullet in their brain, and they run. I can't blame them. Who's going to blame them for that?
So can you get them weapons, Mr. President? Can you get them weapons? Provide air cover?
Well, we actually sent them weapons, and we were very disappointed by the Kurds, to be honest with you. The Kurds let us down. I disagreed with the decision. You know, I was saying, no, I don't believe they'll deliver them. I think they kept them for themselves. I think it's a disgrace. But I'll remember that, Kurds. I'll remember that. But they have some guns, but, you know, they don't have the weapons. Look, even if they had some, they're petrified.
What? Get out of here. A capybara riding an armadillo? Get the fuck out.
See anything like this? What in the world? That's an armadillo with a capybara on top of it.
Oh my gosh. I need to... I'm sorry. I have to send this immediately to Radix. She is going to flip. She's going to flip a shit. How is that a thing? And why didn't I know about it until now? And can I have both of them as pets, please? It can't be real, right? Oh, look at it. Oh, it's not. Wow, that shit's getting good, man. I could almost believe it, because the capybara would just do it. The capybara would do it.
On top of it. Oh my goodness, he's just cruising right across the road. Look at him eating like it's nothing. I've never seen anything like this. Florida, man, you never know what's coming across the street. What?
That's hilarious. I still gotta send it to her though. Come on. Copy link. Paste. Okay, she's gonna love it. All right, what else we got? Southern Baptists overwhelmingly voted to advance a formal ban on women pastors in the nation's largest Protestant denomination. Good job. Keep it up. That shit ends only one way. And it ain't good. Wait, what? Interesting. Interesting. Wow. Sorry, I know most of you wouldn't understand. It's over most people's heads, but they're Anthropic's doing some weird stuff with that new model. Like it seems like it's basically the beginning of the just like right out in the open, like a breakaway technology, breakaway society, like a tech that, you know, certain people get access to the good high-end top tier, and the rest of us get like a dumbed down retard kind of shit version, lobotomized. You only get the real good, the top tier intelligence if you're in the special person class. This is the beginning of it. Up until this point, it was pretty much like you could get access to whatever Enterprise could get access to for the most part, other than some specific cybersecurity models and stuff. But this is a milestone in a bad way. It's just a lot of people aren't talking about it because the lobotomized model that they're giving people is still like astonishingly good. It's ridiculously good. Hard to complain. Dario Amodei of Anthropic warns countries without powerful AI could be like medieval swordsmen facing World War II Marines. Yeah. Probably.
My son is no murder. My son is no murder. My son didn't intend to hurt.
He didn't do nothing to nobody?
Anyone.
He didn't mean it?
My son was defending himself. And
he was defending himself.
That's what hurt so bad. My
Average Knicks fans. Okay, that's wow. Yeah, okay. You can Google that. There you go. I mean, that's one way to do that. Why? What? What was he just attempting to do? Oh, he slipped on it like a moron. Oh my gosh. That is a monkey with a disco ball.
Africa, I'm blacker than all of you. I'm from Africa. I'm
Frisco?
blacker than all of you. By far, actually.
Are they trying to Are they really trying to rebrand this guy?
Yeah, from the motherland, born in Africa. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. Black people are not exclusively from America. They're from all over the world.
Is that who I think it is?
All over the world. They're from Africa, Australia, Great Britain, not just from America.
Is that Philip Anderson, that loser, formerly fat fuck loser that like tagged along with Jake Lang everywhere? Pretty sure that's him magically getting his teeth fixed, which were busted as hell, like.
In Africa. Hold on.
Wonder where that money came from. Clearly has hired a personal trainer of some kind or something. Wonder where that money came from. It's the only way his fat ass would ever get in shape.
I'm gonna tell y'all something real quick. Black people are not exclusively from America. They're from all over the world.
Yeah, they're trying to rebrand Philip Anderson into, well, something that is different from whatever the fuck he was before. Something that people can palate, because people couldn't before. It was just disgusting. No one would swallow it, no matter how hard they tried.
Australia, Great Britain, not just from America. Oh, that's a death threat. That's a death threat, right? Get on video. That's a death threat.
What'd he say?
He said I'm going to do this to you. What does that mean?
Let me remind you who this moron is.
I'm going to disprove it right here. There's a fentanyl overdose.
Okay, so look, this is almost all my weight. Philip, can you breathe?
I can breathe.
You can breathe?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to bounce all my weight on you. Can you still breathe?
Yes, I can still breathe.
Okay, that is foul.
Right, so we want his bail revoked. We want him put back in prison, back in jail. Something or break something? I mean, I don't see that. You guys are a bunch of idiots. We secured pardons for all the J6ers. We won. We did it. We convinced Donald Trump to pardon all the J6ers.
Yeah, that's right. It was you, Philip. It was you. You convinced Donald Trump to pardon all the J6ers.
Instead of just doing half or
Pat Phillip did that.
A portion of them. So we completely defeated the feds, got all those guys fired, got the J6 prosecutors fired. We won 100% won. Total.
That's who that is. That's Jake Lang's little Ethiopian butt buddy. Well, can't wait to see what they're going to try to do with him this time. That should be fun. Okay, I'm interested. I like kitties. Oh, he's a good book. He's a good baby. Oh, he likes the waddy.
You're pretty. Pretty boy. Hope you're not peeing in here.
I pee in the pool. I've done it. Could you blame him? Just look at that. Cool pool on a hot day. How could you not just take a tickle? Oh dang, he slipped him. Woo! Fast. You got this. You can do it. Out of there. Nope, I can catch that. He's done. He's out. Let's keep going with Belfast here real quick. I want to see what last night brought. Filters. Give me like last. Yeah, we'll do today. Give me a quick little clip here. Immigrants fear retaliation in Belfast after violent stabbing perpetrated by an immigrant.
Redmond Shannon is in Belfast tonight. Redmond.
Donna, for a second night in a row, unrest here in Belfast and in other parts of Northern Ireland. Right now, police behind me are pushing back protesters who they believe are trying to get to a hotel housing migrants.
The dreadful reality hits after a night of rage that one politician called a race-based pogrom.
We'll stand there and watch your property.
I think you're missing the point, sir.
I'll never get over that feeling.
Jamie Corey is one of many residents of this working class part of Belfast caught up in the violence, essentially burnt out of their homes after groups of young men went door to door, primarily looking for immigrants.
The scenes here Tuesday night were reminiscent of similar events in Belfast in 1969 at the start of the 3-decade-long civil conflict. But this time, the forced expulsions were motivated by race and not religion.
I'm afraid maybe I might be the next to be attacked on the street. So I don't know what to make my family, my children, who is 9 years old.
Many were too afraid to speak on camera.
He sounds like he belongs there.
Some locals did say they felt they were not being listened to on the issue of immigration, even before the knife attack on Monday night that triggered the violence.
If there's discussions to be had around immigration, that's all well and fine, but that needs to be had in a separate way. What we're talking about today is criminality on our streets.
A Sudanese refugee charged with attempted murder in Monday's attack appeared in court Wednesday. The victim, Stephen Ogilvie, is still in hospital. He has lost his left eye and has injuries to his neck.
Jeez.
His family appealed for calm, saying the unrest is not welcome. We have many migrants who make a deeply valuable contribution to our country.
Oh my goodness, you've got to be kidding me.
It remains to be seen whether those who claim to be rioting on behalf of the victim are listening.
This has affected.
What an insane place. Golly. All right. Well, we're at the top of the hour here. And I think Lady Liberty's in.
Good morning.
How you doing?
All right, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. Let me pop my share off here. Yeah. There we go. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's craziness going on everywhere.
No, everywhere. It's just out of control. Nuts.
I mean, You know, we knew that it would be like this. It's just interesting to watch it play out.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you're aware of those types of things, it's like, yeah, we know it's going to happen. Then it is happening. And it's like, this is pretty crazy. But it also is like, like just, I mean, kind of makes you speechless because it when you're watching it play out and you just know that these things have to take place, it's like, where is it going to go next? Like nothing is really surprising anymore, which is kind of interesting. I mean, for many people it is still, I mean, but for those of us that are just like, you know, already in this space, it's kind of like watching a movie. I mean, and not because the way they want, but it's like how they've set everything up to have us, you know, watch it in a movie, kind of an atmosphere. So you don't really, you know, think it's reality. It's more like
just
this
playing
is
out
reality,
on a screen,
and that's crazy.
detached. Yeah, it is weird, isn't it? Ugh.
Yeah, it surely is. But you know, that's why it's so important for us to just keep talking about all of this and, you know, be kind of, you know, help others like get to a place where it's not as difficult for them, you know, because it doesn't have to be as hard as it is.
No, it doesn't.
They just want, they just want it to be. But, well, thank you.
Back at you. Yeah, you have a good show. I'll get out of your way.
Thank you. All right. Well, Grand Rising, everybody. Salutations, as Michael would not let.
Okay. Well, YouTube, that's it for me. I'm gonna go lay down. I still feel like utter crap. Hopefully I'll start feeling better by tomorrow. But I will keep working. Actually, let me see. Do we have an update here? Let me see the latest one. Oh no, it hasn't updated it yet. Okay. That's all right. I'll probably have some interesting updates by tomorrow. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye. Tomorrow morning.